Greetings, heathens. It is I, your six-time Ramble Mania World Heavyweight Champion, aka the host of Welcome to the Raw Zone, aka one of the hosts of the Gorilla Talk podcast. And stop giving me a look over there. I know exactly what I said, and I said what I meant. I am me, I am Katie, I am Ivy, I am Katie Kaboom. This is a Gorilla Bites segment for the Gorilla Talk podcast. Apologies to everyone who was waiting for us to come back yesterday, but life, I had no computer working, and then I was like, well, the boys can't go on unless I press the start button. So we were kind of screwed at the moment. But, of course, you could catch us everywhere on the Raw Zone NYC website, www.rawzonenyc.com. Subscribe, catch up, or welcome to the Raw Zone, the In the House podcast. We're getting more contributing writers coming in to write about music, sports, everything. So I'm very excited about that. But what I'm most excited about is we're actually going to sit and do more interviews in the wrestling arena. We started off with our guest today, and then we got some more dope things coming in the pipeline. But before I get into our guest, guys, it is Sarcoma Awareness Month. So of course we are on the road to the Give Back. Please join us July 25th. It's so weird having to watch and do the layout for both the portrait for Instagram and the regular one. Apologies. But July is recognized as Sarcoma Awareness Month, a time dedicated to raising awareness about a rare and often overlooked form of cancer that affects thousands of individuals and families every day. For me, this is a deeply personal cause because in 2016, my friend Jon Escudero, who was a bright light to everyone that had the pleasure and the honor to be around him, was diagnosed with intimal sarcoma in the heart and the lung. After a courageous battle, a year and a half later, he passed away in 2017. His strength, positivity, and determination helped inspire the formation of the Give Back for Sean initiative, a mission dedicating to raising awareness, supporting research, and helping families impacted by sarcoma. In our initiative, we also give back to local talent by giving them opportunities where they need to succeed, whether it's EPK, interviews, photo shoots. But we also honor the memory of Kelly Brown, whose life and legacy continue to inspire us. We met her on the road to cure sarcoma in Philadelphia in 2024. Unfortunately, in September of 2025, she lost her battle of 10 years with sarcoma. So I'm sitting here right now inviting you to Single Hall in Woodside, Queens, for this special edition of the Give Back concert. We have Note, S-Rock, Elliot Major, Rai Junero, Saud Provoca, and Voice on the bill. We have DJ Ace of Spades. Shout out to him for being our sponsor. We have shout out to the Evening Rush Network for sponsoring, for Voice sponsoring with It's Better That Way hats, DJ Ace of Spades, Stellar Connect. We are so grateful to the media that's working with us thus far. Most importantly, when you buy a ticket, your proceeds are going to benefit the Sarcoma Foundation of America, helping to fund research, education, advocacy, and support services for those affected by sarcoma. Whether you're attending because you are a fan of one of these people, or you're there because you support me, or because I made you feel bad to come, remember that you're learning and you're part of a difference. You're gonna become part of an experience. You might not know somebody who has this particular form of cancer, but you know somebody that's going through it. So remember those that we've lost this month, and let's continue to keep spreading awareness. But remember, meet us at Single Hall on July 25th, and if not, there's something clearly fucking wrong with you. I can't help you, B. Okay. Let's see. Perfect. This is working. This new layout thing. So StreamYard is trying to make me hella fancy right now. But shout out to y'all for that. Y'all, we're definitely worth the money that I'm stuck paying right now. But about our guest today, because this is like my inner journalism person is coming out right now. You know me, I grew up that kid that loves anything pop related, culture related. Got to work the school newspaper, got to do all of this, started my own blog, ended up doing all of these things. But for now, I get to sit here and talk the nitty gritty of it. For decades, wrestling fans relied on magazines, newsletters, and whispers from the locker room to learn what is going on behind the curtain. Today, news breaks in seconds via social media, podcasts, YouTube, and independent journalists have transformed the way fans experience professional wrestling. This afternoon, we are joined by someone who has helped shape that conversation. He is the founder of Dirt Sheet Radio, a longtime wrestling journalist, podcast host, and media personality whose work has appeared alongside major outlets such as Sports Illustrated, USA Today, excuse me, it's also high, and TMZ, while continuing to build one of wrestling's most respected independent media platforms. We are not just talking about wrestling journalism, we are talking about reporting versus opinion, backstage news, and possibly breaking the fourth wall, right? Because our guest ended up asking this question to Tony Khan, and look what happened.
How you doing, Tony? John, Dirt Sheet Radio. In the weeks leading up to this event, we heard from the IWGP Heavyweight Champion Yota Tsuji, who expressed a disinterest in working the show based on what he feels is, disrespect to the IWGP title in the past. Did that bring you any difficulty in putting this show together? And can you speak to his comments?
I thought the show was excellent, and I really appreciated the representation from New Japan Pro Wrestling, including the president of New Japan, Mr. Tanahashi. It was great to have Hiroshi Tanahashi here, and great that he was a part of the Global Championship match and the presentation to Shota Umino, the champion. I really am a big fan of Yota Tsuji. I have a lot of respect for Yota Tsuji and the IWGP World Title, and I would love to have him here. I've been a fan of his for many years. You know, I appreciate you bringing up what he said, but to be fair, there was another side to what he said. I think he said, I've always shown great respect to him and the wrestlers. And he's always felt very respected by AEW when he's come here, and he feels like the New Japan wrestlers get a lot of respect from the company and from me personally. So I acknowledge what you said, but I also think there was another side to what Tsuji said, and I did appreciate that because it is true. I am a big fan of his, and when he's come here, I've tried to let him know that and always make him feel welcome here. Thank you.
So doing that, my guy here broke the fourth wall and got a whole response, starting a whole line of communication that could lead to something great for AEW. But without further ado, I'm going to invite the man, the myth, the legend, and I hope I say your name right. If not, you could chastise me. I'm bringing Jon Escudero from Dirt Sheet Radio to the motherfucking Gorilla Talk. Where'd you go? Come back.
How you doing, everybody?
Danhausen's trying to curse us just because we gave the Knicks a good run. We're not letting the Gorilla Talk have good technology. It's okay though. So thank you so much for being here with us today. For those that don't know, right, tell us just a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so my name is Jon Escudero. I turned my love of pro wrestling into a career by accident. And now here I am.
I felt that. So, like I told you before, my career was definitely an accident, but how did this become a happy accident for you?
Essentially, I spent a lot of years studying to become a pro wrestler, but certain situations wouldn't let that happen. So I had to do something with all this knowledge. I actually started adminning a Facebook group called We Love Pro Wrestling a long time ago. And that kind of got my urge to share information with more fans going. So I started my own page. It was just meant to be a place where the news could be gathered so that I can talk about it on the podcast. But it gained such an audience that I figured I would follow through with this. So eventually we just kind of shared news. We just kind of shared information. After a while, I I'm not bored, but I guess I just wanted to expand. Like, I didn't want to just talk about pro wrestling every day. So I expanded our coverage to basically all the things I enjoy personally.
So where did this start for you as far as your love for wrestling, right? Let's start with, what's the first wrestling moment that really just said, okay, this is something I'm going to be really focused on for a while?
It was probably I was probably six. We were at my cousin's sleepover, and he had a videotape recording of WrestleMania 14. It had just happened the week before. I had not seen pro wrestling before this, but just blew my mind. I think that was the day I fell in love. It's just been since like 1998 now. I just love this weird ass art form. It pretty much absorbed my whole life.
When did you realize, when making the group on Facebook, that this would be bigger than just talking wrestling with your friends?
I think probably a year or two in, we started getting wrestlers from the independent scene contacting us to like plug them or talk with them. And I was like, whoa, I don't know why you'd want us to do that. But sure, why not? And so that was like the first indication, but it was a couple of years later, maybe 2022, where and I'll leave the nameless for now, because I'm trying to be politically good in the wrestling media space. But there were some really famous, really talented wrestling media people who tried to discredit, who tried to basically cut our legs out from under us. And it was at that moment that I realized, okay, I think we're doing something because they're threatened. So I doubled down, and then I expanded the staff a little bit. And I attempted to do like daily post-shows, but I couldn't handle it all on my own as much as I wanted to. But it was really that moment that I realized, okay, they think that I'm threatening them, then I've got something going in. So I'm going to double down on this, focus on my energy here.
So I love that you bring up also a little bit about the culture behind it, because to be a wrestling fan on social media is no easy feat, right? I've seen groups literally chastise people for not knowing a certain piece of wrestling history. As someone that's considered now a gatekeeper in wrestling journalism, how do you define what a fan is in 2026?
No, I don't think you can. For me, anyone who takes the second just to sit down and actually earnestly appreciate the art form, whatever it is, if they come out the other side enjoying it, you can consider yourself a fan. It's not about how much you know. It's not about what piece of trivia you can bring up at the top of your mind without Googling. It's just did you enjoy the thing? You know, that's the criteria for me. Were you happy to make you smile? You're a fan.
See, and I hope the naysayers that like to talk smack over what a real wrestling fan is really actually understand this, right? Because we're talking like, what I love about Gorilla Talk, I'm the one that probably knows the least wrestling history because of my upbringing. But then I'll have like Ace, who's an independent wrestler, and then I'll have Anthony, who is a diehard fan, and then we have Eric, who we just brought on to the team, who is an independent writer for like storylines in Philadelphia. So it's like I get to see so many different versions and points of view, and I want the podcast to also be able to highlight that too, because there's never a level of what is considered a fan. And I mean, and maybe just in New York, we need to also just stop chastising how much.
The fan base online is always going to be that. It's not even just pro wrestling. I think when you come into an online space, have a conversation, people expect you to know already. I mean, when they're having a conversation, they don't want to spend their time teaching you. And so that's why they tend to get disrespectful, I would say. And it's not. I wouldn't say it's like bad. I'm just. Part of me even understands, because I wouldn't want to be part of the conversation if I don't like publicly anyway. Obviously, we're talking amongst friends. It doesn't matter. But if I'm on a public forum and they want to have a conversation about a subject, I would probably Google the things I don't understand before typing in a comment and leaving it there, just so that I don't leave myself open to scrutiny. Although I did get a message from a friend just now saying that I have a bad echo.
Oh no!
On the live stream.
Oh no! So how about you jump out and come back in, and we're gonna try that out.
Got it. I'll refresh.
So we're waiting for. Thank you for letting us know that we had a little echo. You know, we don't like the echoes. Let's see if he came back.
Hello. Oh,
I don't hear it, but I hope someone could point it out for us. If you could comment or something.
Yeah, it's like an immediate. It's not even an echo. It's just the exact. Everything I say is delayed by a second.
Oh, it's lagging.
Yeah.
So hopefully that just fixed it. But in the meantime, right? What, in your opinion, right? Because you do both. You do the podcasting and creating content when it comes to Dirt Sheet Radio and comes to the wrestling, but you also are a wrestling journalist. How would you define wrestling journalism, as well as separating it from being a wrestling content creator?
I guess my thing is I would rather share the information and talk about wrestling than to be worried about making content per se. Mm-hmm. Like I guess sometimes I'll do reels just because you know it feels like the way to share the information. But I don't want to focus on reels because it takes up too much of my time, and I'd rather share information with the audience. You know, I'd rather teach them about something.
Okay, so we're still experiencing the lagging.
Yeah.
Is he coming in clear at least? Because he seems okay to me, but then I could be wrong.
The thing that's happening is about 1 second after I start talking, my own voice speaks over me with what I already said.
So let me refresh on my side to see if it does anything. Just give me a second.
Hi, everyone. Oh, wow. No more echo. Well, I'm taking over the show. So how's everyone doing? It's a Jon Escudero show. I have a circle around my head, but it's still me, man. What y'all up to? This is weird. I'm nervous. I've never been the guy they ask questions. I'm usually the question asker. This is a weird place to be.
Okay.
Oh. So it came back. It was gone when you were gone.
So even though I'm back now, did it fix it? Because that's horrible.
It was well, I'm talking now, and I don't hear any echo, and I wasn't hearing anything. Okay. Is it better now?
I'm talking now, and I don't hear any echo.
Okay, no.
I wasn't hearing anything. Okay.
Nope.
Can you hear me though? Is it still?
Nope.
Oh, now you
I
just
can
caught up.
hear you.
I can hear you.
But when you were gone,
But
there
when
was
you
no
were
echo.
gone, there was no echo.
I'm not sure what
Someone
happened.
did say it's still good.
Yeah, it was good
Yeah,
now.
it was good now.
About a minute
About
ago. But now I hear that
Now I
echo
hear
again.
that echo again.
No. I really don't want to have to restart my computer and leave you here.
StreamYard, baby. If you want, I can talk to the audience. I'll say, I am a little bit lagged, I think.
If this is gonna maybe. Oh my god, I didn't mean to do that part. What happened?
No, we're good.
Because the computer is just wigging out at the moment.
Yeah.
Right, wait, I think I'm good. I think we're good.
Hello? There it is.
There it
is again.
See, the thing is, I can hear you perfectly. But I hear myself twice. And I think they hear me twice. Which I thought it was just me this whole time, but then the comments started saying it was echoing. But there we go.
Like I'm not sure. Do you wanna see if we could move this to Saturday? See if I could figure out maybe it's the reception or the Wi-Fi.
If you want, I don't think I have anything scheduled for this Saturday because there's no pay-per-views this weekend, thankfully.
I know it's 4th of July. That's the only thing.
Oh shit! It's a holiday, isn't it?
If not, I could do Friday in the evening.
Friday evening is rough because we have SmackDown and CMLL coverage that I have to take care of myself. This is like the best opportunity. This is the best time for us to talk.
This is like the best opportunity. This is the best time for us to talk.
Okay, give me a second. Let me restart this one more time because my computer is also just moving on its own and it's scaring me.
It's all good.
That's why I'm like, I see you talking perfectly fine, but my mouse is.
Okay, so I imagine that I sound better now, and we could probably talk. She was asking me earlier, what is it that got me into wrestling journalism? I think I missed a couple of steps because I was so nervous. When I was younger, much younger, I mean like a teenager, I was on the forums, online, on the internet, fucking around, trolling. Sometimes we're really just learning from people.
Okay, I think I'm okay. I know I heard you.
Yeah.
So I'm
It's
just waiting
so
for this
weird.
to.
It's so weird. When you're gone, it's fine. No offense.
No, I know. It's just you know how but you use StreamYard, right? So I'm assuming you've been through this before.
You know, actually not this particular problem. My problem with StreamYard used to be trying to get the audio after for a podcast. But
Really? That's yours? Like, mostly my issues usually come with the connection.
nah, I'm pretty good with the connection. I have been.
Okay, so I don't have another mic on. I have this streaming to Instagram, but that doesn't have no volume right now on that side.
I wonder if the double stream is why. That would be a StreamYard issue, not yours.
Yeah, because it said that the Instagram Live is muted. So it doesn't feedback on the audio.
Do you have another audio source on?
It doesn't. I'm looking at it right now. It doesn't show that my phone connected to the computer. Cause there's a weird thing now with MacBooks that'll let you use your phone as an external mic.
Uh,
Uh,
I wonder if
I wonder if
I was gonna leave and come back, but it didn't seem to help last time. But I got no answers.
I can't hear you. What?
I say I got.
No, you broke up this time.
Yeah,
I've
got no answers.
I've got no answers.
I mean, I'm still willing to keep going with this. I'll just have to do a lot of editing the audio later.
Yeah, I mean, if you're interested, sure.
If you're interested, sure.
I definitely am interested. Listen, man, I waited 3.5 months. 3.5 months. He said, give me 3 months. I waited to see if I made a 3 month mark from the last time. How difficult was it though for you to build credibility as a wrestling journalist?
Very. People already don't respect wrestling journalists.
Respect wrestling journalists. They think everything they say is fake. We basically decided that all
people are bad. So I named myself Dershi Radio, and I didn't realize how much trouble that would bring in the future. Because wrestling companies don't like the term dirt sheet. So I had that working against me, but after a while, it just didn't matter. It's because for a while, it just didn't matter. It's because our name wasn't enough work that our name wasn't holding us back. Basically, it just started. We just started getting the opportunities that we've been fighting and trying to get for years. I've been working for years. I finally got an opportunity to work with CMLL, and I'm working with AEW sometimes as far as doing media stuff. It's not. I didn't even realize when it happened. One day you were just getting messages from.
Give me 1 second.
I didn't even realize when it happened. One day you were just getting messages from people, and they're like, "Hey."
Hold on 1 second. I'm doing one last Hail Mary and I'm jumping in from my iPad. See if that changes anything.
All good.
Yeah, because everyone's saying to... So I'm trying to...
Well, hello again.
All right, let's see. Did this work now?
Hello? Yeah, it did work.
Oh, right. Hear you better too. What? Oh my God.
That's excellent. Guys. Well, we fixed it.
I fixed it. I'm sorry. But we here. Apologies. Oh my God.
Hell yeah. Let's do this thing.
Like, I'm literally hiding in one room because we're going through the worst heat wave here in New York City. And we have one air conditioner that's fully functional. So
I had heard about that. Oh, actually, I have to take care of some breaking news, but please talk to me don't take me looking down as disrespect. Eric Young just left TNA, so I have to make a post about that.
Oh my God.
This is work in action. Basically, as we see this, I have about 2 minutes to get this post up before my anxiety says that I fucked it up.
Now, let me ask you a question, right? Because I be doing the same thing when it comes to breaking news. And, like, you got to make the graphics, but you'll probably be at, like, a 9 to 5. Or you're doing something where you're stuck somewhere. How are you able to keep up?
I'm not going to lie. It's not the best advice, but I just prioritized this. I was like, I was a bus driver. I was driving buses, and I would be at a stop and I'd look at my phone and something would happen, and I'm fucking taking my time to make this post. We'll pull off as soon as I'm done. Dershi Radio's first. That's just how I've been. It's selfish. It affected the lives of many people who drove who rode buses and needed to get to work. But I was trying to make something work for myself and for the people who are home, who come to me for news and only me for some reason. I kind of did that. So I never really got fired for that, but normal people might, like, if you're not as sneaky as me, you might get fired. So I wouldn't take that advice. But I certainly just prioritized Dershi Radio. Dershi Radio was first. It's always going to be first. That was just how it was.
I want to apologize for my canine son going off in the background to everyone after we finally got everything else to work. He decided to make him.
The dog is fine. It's nowhere near as bad as my daughter screaming.
Now that you talk about that, we're not going to obviously get too much into your family, but how are you able to manage all of that while still running a house?
Oof. That is probably the part that, obviously, you know, my family, like, as much as I said Dershi Radio comes first, the family comes even first, even before them. So yeah. I'm all day long chasing my daughter around, trying to do interviews with her in the background, screaming and stuff. It's just like trying to make it work, you know? And I guess it all falls into place anyway. When you really want something, man, it's if you really work for it, I don't think there's any obstacles that can stop you from doing it. Like, I shouldn't be able to do this interview at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on the East Coast, 11 a.m. over here, because I have my whole family here, but we're working, you know, we're working, we're making it happen.
So you've been like on the West Coast your whole life, or you from our
No, I'm from New York. I'm from the Bronx. I spent my whole life in the Bronx. I left when I was 30 almost with my wife. She was in the military. We moved. I just kind of follow her around.
Wait, how old are you?
I'm 35 now.
Oh, you made it sound like you're so much older than me. I'm like,
well, I have no hair, so you tend to feel older faster.
Like, I have a friend whose birthday is a year and a week before me, and then I noticed I'm a week before you, but I'm a year after you. I'm like, oh. Okay, so you're not as old as you make it sound.
No, I'm just old in spirit. I had my first son when I was 16, so I've been raising children my whole life. No,
whole life.
It's. I felt older, much younger, and I did a lot of things as a teenager. Man, this calm life is new, man. As a teenager, we used to run around and do such fucking crazy things in the Bronx, and one day I had a baby. I just had to relax. And it took me years, but I figured out a career path and a way to make life work for me with Dershi Radio. It wasn't always that easy though. Like we mentioned earlier, I had to deal with 9-to-5 jobs and stuff. But what happened was I lost a job, and I still to this day don't know why. A bus driving job, and it was some background thing that I don't even understand. They were like, oh, some other job that you had said that you quit, but you didn't say that you quit, so we have to let you go. I was like, what the fuck? So I just went home and I just threw everything into Dershi Radio. I was like, man, fuck that. I'll just have more. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. I was just like, man, I'm gonna do everything I have to do to make Dershi Radio the best that it can be. I didn't even expect that it would become a career as much as I just wanted it to be the best. Like, I just wanted Dershi Radio to be the best. And then I was monetized, which changed the game. Like, the monetization made it so that I don't have to do a fucking 9-to-5. I can do Dershi Radio. Dershi Radio is now my 9-to-5. Or not 9-to-5. It's 12 to 12. It doesn't end. You know, that's kind of the balance that I'm giving up here. No, I don't work for a boss anymore. And yeah, that's cool. That's certainly,
you are the boss now.
You know, but also because I am the boss, if I take a day off, I just won't get paid. Like, so if I miss something, I just won't eat. You know, the kids won't eat. So there's no more like being absent. There's no more like, can I wake up late? There's just like, get to work. If you want it, you need to work.
So now that I can hear you clearly, right? And you talked about what you went through to put this all together. Can you talk about how difficult it was for you to build the credibility? Because I definitely could not hear you for that. I think you muted yourself because now I can't hear you.
I definitely muted myself. See, I bought this new mic, and I'm so nervous that it's gonna hear me breathing, and I hate to hear breathing. Like I personally hate to hear breathing, so I don't want people to hear me breathing. So I'm always muting it in between words. But with that said, credibility in wrestling journalism, holy shit, it's not easy. It's not easy because so many people are out there making up rumors and using AI and just complete bullshit is out there. Every day you see a post on Facebook that's just made up from the bottom of hell. It's just like complete nonsense. And so now I have to worry about not being mixed in with garbage like that. And like I mentioned earlier, there was a larger media presence, a big person in pro wrestling media that tried to use that to take us down. Like, oh, they're just a Facebook place, like everyone, like all those other horrible Facebook places. So what I did was me and my friend George at Comic Book Click, we started a website. Now you can't call us just a social media place. We have a website. We have a footprint. We are out there. I started getting interviews. The interviews really helped towards credibility. But at the end of the day, I found that whenever I got a media opportunity, the first thing they would mention is, man, you really love this, so we want to work with you. So at the end of the day, I think just being a fan and never losing that, just posting that I bought a freaking Mystico mask and just being excited to have it, or just watching wrestling and talking about it, is really what helped me gain credibility, because people see that I'm not just a dude that's posting for engagement. Like, I'm not just posting for fun. I'm not just posting because I want to make money. I love this. Like, I love pro wrestling. It's a weird art form, but if you love it and it shows through your work, I think you build credibility with people like that more than anything.
So outside of Forbidden Door, what other event did you get to cover in the Dirt Sheet Radio?
We, starting this year, CMLL started reaching out to me about doing some media stuff for them, because they're expanding internationally. Then they wanted to get a presence out in the US, and so they've talked to Fightful, they talked to the Observer, and they reached out to me. I was on the list. They were like, hey, you really enjoy this, would you like to come on out to Arena Mexico? Or if you do come out to Arena Mexico, let us know so that we can bring you backstage and get you a good seat or whatever. And I was like, what? Me? Hell yeah. So WrestleMania weekend, they invited me to the Slam, what was it called? Slam Fest? I think it was held by Paragon Talent Agency. It was like their version of WrestleCon and the GCW collective, but they had like Stardom, CMLL, House of Glory, Tokyo Joshi Pro, and Major League Pro Wrestling, Maple Leaf, not MLW, Maple Leaf, the Scott D'Amore company in Canada. So that was like the first major media opportunity I had been given, and it just happened this year, like in April. And I was like taking selfies with the media pass, like, I fucking did it.
I made it.
I made it. And so I applied for AEW media, and I have been applying for years, man. For years. They have been telling me no forever.
Which is crazy, being that if you really think about it, AEW, just because AEW has the name, but it's still a fairly new company. So the fact that you are this selective with what media goes in is wild.
I get it, if only because when they have such bad, like, they have a bad thing that happened at a press conference with the CM Punk thing. So like now it's like, we want to make sure that these press conferences stay on track forever. We never want something like this to happen to us again.
But I feel like, but if we're going to realistically talk about it on a journalism perspective, that could happen in any type of press conference.
For sure. It definitely can. I imagine they feel like they are doing what they can to help curate the best possible, I guess, footage or questions that they can have afterwards, or maybe clip and use in their builds or whatever. I'm sure they would prefer if everyone just acts like kayfabe questions, like, and so what's next for you? Are you going to challenge for the belt? You know, but I just want to know real shit. Yeah, maybe they made a mistake.
And that's and that's what I respect, right? And that's why I played the clip in the beginning, right? Because you said something based off of a real dispute and a real boycott, and the fact is that you asked it in a way that wasn't based on sensationalism to try to get the clickbait, but you got a whole legitimate, actual smart sounding response out of Tony Khan.
Yeah, I was scared out of my ass when I asked him and he responded like that. I was like, oh God, he pushed back. I'm screwed. They're never gonna call me back. So, but
so I'm like, why did you think he wasn't gonna?
It was definitely something like I don't know if I knew how he would respond, but I certainly just thought like I genuinely want to know. You know, I'm not like looking for headlines, sir. I'm taking the opportunity to ask you this question as a fan and also as a journalist, but as a fan first, I am interested in knowing what you think. And so he really did. I mean, looking back on it now, it was fine, but in the moment, I was like, oh my God, he's mad at me.
And then how do you feel that clip got an actual response?
That is actually one of the... We talked about all the work that went into this. For me, this is what it was all about. These are the moments that the idea that I asked Tony Khan a question and Tokyo Sports cited it to Yota Tsuji himself, the IWGP champion, telling like this is what Tony Khan said, and then he responded, and now they're going out to fucking play golf or whatever. This is what it's all about. This is why I got into this in the first place. This is to be able to reach out and touch and affect professional wrestling as a whole, like not just, you know, talking shit from my couch. You can just actually reach out and touch the art form really fast. You know, there was one instance of this in the past, and it was also AEW, where they were planning on, and I know someone's gonna get mad about this, they were planning on changing their belt design, and there was a rumor, or not even a rumor, there was a leaked image of the new version of it. It was like they put a sticker plate over the original AEW logo, and it was like this weird rectangle in the middle of that beautiful design. And I'm a big belt guy. I love title belts. So I was like devastated, like, no, they can't do this. And it was leaked. Nobody really knew about it yet. So I was like, I've got to do something. so I posted it online, and I was like, this is... Whoa, my daughter's here screaming and being rude.
Listen, man, it could be worse. It could have been like Mello trying to be the king of the jungle, trying to make sure you guys heard him. Like, mind you, he's a little chihuahua, like yay small.
You got to go tell your grandma.
Ooh, he's like grandma.
Anyway, my point was I posted that online, and it went stupid viral. I've had like thousands and thousands of people like, oh my God, you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do this. And sure and behold, the next week they abandoned plans for that title belt. And I was like, I think I did that. So that's kind of what we do it for. Like that's what I'm doing it for anyway. I don't care about the money. I just want to talk to wrestlers and do things.
So you mentioned that, right? Because I'm a wrestling podcaster too, I like calling random shit and seeing if it actually happened. But do you feel like platforms like ours also take the mystique away from being a fan?
If you so desperately covet that mystique, I would suggest not getting online. I think there's a level of responsibility that you have to take for yourself. If you want to, if pro wrestling, if it matters that much to you that pro wrestling doesn't lose its mystique, don't click the links, don't watch the videos, stop following these creators. We've got to take our responsibility, because in the end of the day, I'm not forcing anyone to read a spoiler or whatever. I'm certainly not spoiling anything on the feed for people to be like, this is it. I put it behind a link. If you click that link, if your human curiosity takes you to the point where you click that link and you read, what can I do? I didn't bring you to this lake, and I certainly didn't ask you to drink that water, but you're here and you look thirsty. So,
But even just for us, like there's times like I love doing what I do, but I'm like sometimes I wish I didn't kind of just predict this whole thing.
I guess after a while too, I've been watching wrestling for, like I said, pretty much 30 years, and you see the same, even if they're not the same storyline, the same story structures. You can tell. You can usually tell, which is what makes it fun when there's a surprise or there's like, oh wow, swerve, I didn't see that coming. Does it ruin the mystique? I guess in a way it does. I certainly can't watch it like I did when I was, 12, but I feel like that comes with getting older anyway. It's something that's going to happen eventually, except the difference is without this stuff, most people just lose interest. They get older, they're like, okay, well, I'll move on from this art form. The backstage stuff added a layer of enjoyment for me. The backstage stuff extended my ability to enjoy pro wrestling. I don't know if I'd still be watching if I didn't fall into the dirt sheets 20 years ago or whatever,
So what is watching too much wrestling considered to you?
Yes. I am right now, because it's literally my job, I am watching every major company on earth, which doesn't leave me any room for indies. I think I'm already watching too much wrestling. I'm watching WWE, I'm watching AEW, I'm watching New Japan, I'm watching CMLL, I'm watching Stardom, I'm watching AAA, I'm watching Ring of Honor. I have to make sure to watch movies. I have to make sure to read books. I have to make sure to read comics. I've got to take in other art forms. Too much wrestling is when you're only watching wrestling. As wrestling fans, a lot of people only watch wrestling, and I don't agree with that. They are not experiencing other ways to tell stories. As a matter of fact, you're dimming your enjoyment of wrestling by only watching wrestling. Watch a movie, read a book, go outside, experience a different way of storytelling, and then come back and watch wrestling, and you'll see you have a different perspective.
Before we go into how you're now expanding Dirt Sheet Radio into different demographics, which I absolutely love, but I want to hit the concept of what a dirt sheet is. What does the term dirt sheet mean to you right now?
It's so funny because, like I might have mentioned earlier, when I named Dirt Sheet Radio, it was cheeky. I thought it was, funny. Thought it was a joke. I mean, it was a funny joke to me. Like, all right, the Dirt Sheets are obviously, the wrestlers think it's a bad term, but I thought this was funny. I never thought I'd be in a place where I have to worry about the name now. Oh, fuck, I don't think they like us. I don't think WWE is going to let us in because we're called Dirt Sheet Radio. Dirt Sheet is unfortunately a dirty word in the industry. Partly why I took it back. I want to take it back. I don't want it to be a bad thing. It's just journalism. It's just reporting on things. Wrestlers get so mad because they're so desperate to keep these secrets, and I get it. It's a secretive business. Where secrets exist, journalists exist to expose them. It's just the way of the world, unfortunately, and that's sometimes why I'm like, maybe I'm not fit to be a real journalist, because to be a journalist, you got to be a bit of an obnoxious person. Dirt sheets tend to be run by obnoxious people, and all that ties into why people think it's a bad thing. But I don't think dirt sheets are a bad thing. I'm just a fan. I want to know things and I talk about them. It's when people start talking about the things they have no business talking about that dirt sheets can be bad. Like where, people's backstage romance speculation. Like, I don't do things like that. Like, oh my gosh, this person cheated on this person or whatever. I think like at that point you're becoming TMZ. Like, this is, you've taken it too far. You're in the gutters. But that being said, there's a responsibility to report the things that you're told. by people back there, as long as they're not infringing on anyone's real privacy. I mean, real personal things. And there's probably journalists that would disagree with me. No, anything that you find out, you need to report. I mean, I understand that, but I don't agree with it. I just think there's some things that people don't want to talk about that maybe we shouldn't talk about. Like, I don't think I'm comfortable speculating on why certain people disappear for so long from television sometimes. It's like, it's been 2 years. It's like, I don't know, man. They've got something going on, and I'm fine not talking about it until they decide it's okay.
I mean, listen, man, we've had a couple of few disappearing acts. So, like, you had Jericho that was out of commission with AEW for a while, and he took that well-needed time off. First of all, Instagram is going crazy. I just saw the comments on there, so let me just shout out everyone that's here. Shout out to Matt the Great on YouTube. Shout out to Uwu Party on YouTube. Shout out to Jonathan. I think this is you, just in case, but there's a Jonathan Escudero 740. You're muted again.
That is my brother. He should be. He's got an H. He's got an H in his name. My dad
and Jonathan.
Yeah. It was. We've got the same dad. He likes the name John. His name is John. Gosh, my name is Jonathan. I call myself John. My dad's name is John. My brother's name is Jonathan. My son's name is Jonathan. There's his son's name is Jonathan. There's a lot of Jonathans in his family. It's a very strange, quirky thing.
Wait, so let me ask you a question. At any point, if you four are all arguing, do y'all point to each other like the Spider-Man meme?
It just happens naturally. We don't even realize it. We're just pointing at each other because we don't call each other by names. Like, I'm not screaming my own name across the room. It's weird.
But shout out to everyone that's on the YouTube. We also have yours truly, Gio, tapped in from the Instagram. He has a new EP called Incognito out now. Please look that up. Yeah. Shout out to Gio was part of a bachata group. And,
whoa!
Serious. I'll send you his Instagram. But like, I remember him as a one of 4 of Dia Cuatro.
Yeah.
Doing my radio show on. And I'm just sitting here. He's like here watching wrestling stuff with me now. I'm like, shit.
I love it.
No, it's really dope. And this is what I love. Especially we've been able to bridge that gap with music and wrestling, especially more so lately. We got Kofi Wheatston here from the Dirty Heels podcast.
Hell yeah.
We got shout out to Don from the Evening Rush. We got official Ash to Dust in the building. Shout out to Nola Rue. I got it right, yes, because I can never say his name correct. He's an independent wrestler that actually performed at my last Give Back event as a singer and / rapper. I was like, mind you, the man was like dying from a match. Like, he did a swanton off the top rope, and like, he was not in any place to walk, bro. My guy was just like sitting there, like performing his ass off. I'm like, you go. But what do you think makes the fans so fascinated by websites like Dirt Sheet Radio, PW Mania, Fightful?
When I was younger, excuse me, I just kind of I fell into this by accident. And I think that a lot of fans, it's the same thing. You're online and you're looking for like results or spoilers for SmackDown or something. And then you see a headline that looks really interesting because you just never knew that you wanted to know this thing until you saw that someone else knows. It's like, what the heck is that about? And I think that's just how it starts. It's a taste. You get a little taste. Maybe by accident, maybe on purpose, but you get a little taste, and it's like, I need to know more. I need to know more of what goes on backstage behind this. It's a weird freaking art form. It's so strange. I got no explanation for why I love pro wrestling so much, but I do. And so I want to know everything about it. And so I think it's the same with all fans that end up in these dirt sheets and on these websites. I think they just want to know more. I just want to know more about wrestling. I want to know new level of enjoyment. I mean, that's why WWE has their Unreal you know, and that's why they're coming out with their fan club where you're supposed to be able to get scoops first from WWE. They recognize that level of enjoyment exists, and being a big capitalism company, they want to try to make money at that level now too. It's not going to work. You're not gonna be very successful in our side of the business when we're very willing to talk about the things you're not willing to talk about. So like that's never gonna work. But their acknowledgement of this sub level of pro wrestling fandom, it gives me a little bit of a boost. It makes me feel good about what I'm doing for work because I know that it's recognized and I know that they are desperate to get in there, and I already am. Yeah.
And the one thing I gotta say I respect about you, you mentioned it before, you're not a clickbaity type of outlet. You're not looking like, yeah, you'll report, let's say for an example, when Bianca said she was pregnant because she went in the middle of Mania and made that news, you know. But you're not here actively going into like sending someone to follow a hospital room just to report that she's there, because there's so many dirt sheets that are so invasive in their lives that, like, didn't we just recently have an altercation after Mania with CM Punk and Damian Priest over trying to protect Bayley, and I believe it was AJ Lee, just because people weren't respecting their boundaries.
I'm just not interested in, like, I'm not a fan of bothering people. I'm not a fan of bothering people on a general level. It makes me uncomfortable to make people uncomfortable. That's why I'm not sure how I became even a little successful in this side of the industry, like, because I am genuinely bothered by making people uncomfortable. So if we're having interviews or whatever, I'm not even asking like the questions that maybe some people would ask, and I don't want the dude to get mad. And maybe that's something I have to work on. Maybe that's something I have to get rid of as I continue in this. I even struggle sometimes to call it an industry because it's so weird, but it is. It's a peripheral part of the pro wrestling industry. But I'm just not interested in that kind of conversation. It's not fun to me. It's not constructive. If it doesn't make the subject of the conversation feel any better either. And that's not to say, you know, that's always going to be the case. Sometimes public wrestling things happen and we're going to talk about it and it's going to make you uncomfortable. CM Punk, sorry, we're talking about your brawl backstage, but you're the one who started swinging on people, you know. So that's a whole other thing from like you mentioned, Bianca Belair or any other woman superstar that disappears from TV for, you know, a certain amount of time, and the outlets are all saying like, we don't want to say what it is. It's fine. I'm not going to be like, well, maybe she's pregnant, because that's fucking rude. You don't speculate on someone's pregnancy. That's crazy. I learned that as a child. You don't point at someone and say, hey, you might be pregnant, because they might not be, or they might lose the baby, or there's so many horrible things that could happen. I don't even want to walk down that road. You know, I'm not interested in that.
Do you feel like our podcast and Dirt Sheets, kind of the insider reporting, change how promotions now book their shows?
I think sometimes they get a thing will come out and they will try their best to work around it just to try to surprise people. I think it happened over the summer too, and I don't know if it's like fully reported, but it was almost very clear to me right before the King of the Ring, the Dirt Sheets got a hold of the fact that Seth Rollins was going to face Roman Reigns at SummerSlam, which almost spoiled the whole King of the Ring. So they had Obafemi win and then throw away the title shot anyway. And then so they could get back to the plans that they were already going to do at SummerSlam. But now we didn't spoil the King of the Ring. You still had a surprise. So in that sense, that literally is a dirt sheet changing the way a company books a storyline, you know. But in a macro sense, as in like, are they changing the way they tell stories, period, for the dirt sheets? I don't know if that's true. I think you do have to evolve with the times. You do have to become evasive. You do have to keep things to yourself, tell certain people, not tell certain people things. But that's also just something you should do, period, just to keep the secret anyway. I don't know if maybe the dirt sheets helped push people towards that direction, but I feel like even in the 80s, 90s, you would find wrestlers get told by the boss, and he told me not to tell anyone. It's just the nature of the business.
Being that you just talked about how the Seth and Roman for SummerSlam, which I'm glad it's probably not going to happen now, but we know it'll probably happen down the line. But do you feel like companies like WWE, AEW intentionally leak shit in order to drive more attention?
Absolutely. Oh my God, so many times. It happens so much. People, I will say, without disrespecting any other outlets, that sometimes if you read between the lines, you can tell when they've been fed something. You can just tell by the language. You can tell by the subject matter. There's a difference between when the company feeds them something and between when they got something sourced. You can always tell. It's just a matter of following your instincts. When you read something on a website, and even if it's a big, credible one, and it sounds like a fucking PR piece. Like, why are they writing this? Like, why are they putting over this aspect of business so hard? That's such a weird thing for a dirt sheet to report. You feel like that would come right from the company. It's because it did come from the company. They're just putting it out there on the. They're putting it out there under the books, not under the books, but under the. I lost my word for it, but essentially being sneaky so that it looks like, it's natural conversation. It's not something we put out there.
Do you think the rest are, whether they're independent or in the mainstream, do you think they're now too aware of what's being reported online?
As far as like wrestlers, like the companies or like the fans?
Like the wrestlers.
Oh, from what I understand, they've been this way since the dawn of the dirt sheet. That's where the term came from. They used to pass these sheets around on backstage. The actual newsletters would get given to people backstage to read. I think they've always been that way. I think they always will be that way. It's just I don't even know if it's a bad thing. It's certainly a bad thing when they're spending too much time on social media, getting in the weeds of comments and stuff, but that's because it's unhealthy mentally. Like, those people are nameless, faceless. They don't have to worry about what they say about you, but you, on the other hand, are a real person, and you're reading that stuff and you're taking it in, and you can tell yourself that it's not bothering you, but after a while, that stuff starts to chip away. So, I mean, my suggestion to pro wrestlers would be just don't read the comments. Just stay the hell out of those comment sections.
Now, let me ask you a question. What are you watching the most? WWE, AEW, or independent?
As far as watching the most, like objectively, technically, I'm probably watching the most WWE because they put the most hours on TV and I have to watch all that stuff. But what am I enjoying the most is probably right now CMLL and AEW, but CMLL probably a little more than AEW just because it's newer to me and I'm not so familiar with every single thing that's happening. Like all the other American companies, Japanese companies, I almost know too much. Like it's just the nature of 30 years of watching wrestling, but Lucha Libre is very new to me. I got into it because of AEW, because they did the partnership with CMLL and I liked the wrestlers that they had on TV. So I was like, oh wow, I'll continue watching this, and I pay freaking $40 a month to watch that damn YouTube, the CMLL YouTube. And it's what I enjoy the most. Every Friday, I can't watch. They've got freaking 7 shows a week now, which is like I can't. I have too much work going on. So every Friday, and on other major shows, I make sure I'm there to watch the ongoings in Arena Mexico and just to have some fun with wrestling that isn't necessarily feeling like work.
What mistakes do you see a lot of new wrestling journalists, wrestling podcasts creating?
I guess a lot of what I see is people worrying about or I'll get past that level. Not even those people. Those people haven't even started. They don't let themselves walk in. I think once you start to create this stuff, The only thing you have to worry about is how much you care. I don't think people are putting their own enjoyment first anymore. I think they're trying to be what they see. I want to be a success, so I have to copy what Fightful is doing. I have to copy what the Observer is doing. I want to be a success. Well, you're not going to be if you try to copy what they're doing. They do what they do, and they do it real good. And they already established themselves. And you're fighting an uphill stream if you want to compete. Just enjoy it. I think people love to see other people enjoy things that they enjoy so that we can enjoy it together. I'm sure other people will fuel by hate, but you will find those same people are happy to talk about the things that they love. You can reach them by just enjoying yourself and enjoying what you do. I think that's the biggest mistake people are making. They're not enjoying it enough.
I feel like, and that I'm kind of glad, that's why we took a break for about a month, because between all this personal stuff I was going through with my job, and then, the guys were feeling a little, overwhelmed because there's so much to do. I'm like, yo, let's just take a break, let's reassess, let's come back. Now we're, mad excited. I got to sit and interview you today, but we're going to interview PJ Savage at the end of the month.
Heck yeah.
Because I got to see him in Invictus, and he was but so it's okay, now that we're finding different ways to also stay in touch with what makes us actually love wrestling. Because indies are really all over the place. And shout out to Young Wolf. He's got a question for you, sir.
Awesome.
I want to know what the question is, though. Because he just said, I got a question.
I'm down. I like that you have a question.
Listen, this is my son, my canine son's lawyer.
Oh, nice.
Are we really doing this? Because I'm pretty sure this was something that was said in the Young Wolf chat, but I'm not 100% sure. That's how you know.
Andrade really got that thing over, man. I love it.
Can someone explain this? Because I've missed a lot of wrestling this week, apparently.
There was a long time ago, before Andrade left and went back to WWE, there was a segment backstage where Darby was with Sting. And I think he offered to buy Darby. And Sting was like, no. And why would Darby do this? And Andrade just goes, And it just was a meme for years before he actually turned it into a gimmick like this year. So now it's just a thing he says, which the crowd likes, wrestling stuff.
I'm sorry. I thought this would have been a legitimate question, but thank you, Young Wolf, for catching me on me on the fact that I haven't seen AEW in a month. It's okay. Do you feel like YouTube has become more of the standard dirt sheet, and do the wrestling podcasts help shape fan opinions more than traditional journalism?
I do think the wrestling podcasts help shape fan opinion, and sometimes in a real unhealthy way. I think there's so many people on YouTube that I'm just not a fan of because of the way that they make their content, and it's based around negativity, and it's based around hating things, and it's what do you like then? What you just spent 3 hours talking about this thing that you hate. Well, I would rather watch you spend 3 hours telling me about something you love, but yeah, these people are on YouTube. They're definitely shaping the fan bases, and it's not just wrestling. I mean, look at Supergirl in theaters. It's the same podcast people that hate their lives, and they hate everything around them, and they want other people to hate with them, and so they sit down and they pick something apart, and sometimes there's an element of truth to what they're saying, but it only takes that one little element of truth for people to latch onto it. It sucks, but it's also just kind of natural now. We've got to find a way to combat that by being better. That's all we can do. If you don't want to get wet in the rain, you've got to bring an umbrella. For the rain is a natural thing. You can't fight the rain. You can find a way to protect yourself from it, though.
Young Wolf said dirt sheets do work, but only if they work in the biz. Just my opinion.
Well, if you work in the biz, then you don't have a dirt sheet because you are you're just holding back information that you don't think my friends in the business wouldn't want me to say this, so I'm not going to report it. Well, you're useless. You're worth nothing.
Who are you not listening to as far as giving credible information about wrestling?
There's a few full-on avoidables. Like avoid ringside news. Avoid if I'm on YouTube, I avoid JD from New York like a plague. I don't want anything to do with that guy.
I've heard a lot of people say they avoid him.
Yeah, it's one of those shows that's just full of negativity. It's like, why would I watch this? Like why? If I wanted someone to yell at me for 3 hours, I would call my dad. I don't need this. No, he's a nice guy. That was just a joke. My dad, anyway, not JD. He's a bit of an asshole. That guy. Not interested in watching shows like that. As far as like news, though, I rather just stick with the credible sources, the PW Insiders, the Fightfuls, the Wrestling Observers, the Post Wrestlings. There's a couple of scoopers out there that are kind of iffy, like half and half. Like I wouldn't necessarily rush to report what they're saying, but I also would read what they're saying just to kind of take note of it. But if as far as taking in news, I would suggest Fightful, PW Insider, The Wrestling Observer, and Post Wrestling. Those 4 websites are going to give you what you need without, like, they're not maliciously making shit up.
And Dirt Sheet Radio. Don't forget Dirt Sheet Radio.
Well, for sure. But that's a given. But as far as like people, like where we're aggregating from, like where we're bringing information in from, that isn't something that we got told ourselves. I find those websites are, they're source based, and sometimes a source might tell you something that ends up being wrong, but they're not making shit up, which is most important to me. They're not making shit up on the fucking blue. They're not putting together harmful headlines or harmful graphics, or like Ringside News is a horrible website. Like it's a horrible social media presence. They were posting pictures of like Paige, like from that horrible situation on their public social media in like 2026, which is nuts. You just want to fully avoid people like that. But yeah, that's kind of why Dirt Sheet Radio exists. Just to help take up a space so that they can't have it. Like, I don't want people like that in my industry. It's disgusting to me. So I hope to be big enough to completely smother outlets like Ringside News.
So you recently just started expanding Dirt Sheet Radio, where you're allowing contributing writers. I applied. I'm just saying. But you're making it broader in the sense of there's more pop media conversations. What is the expansion looking like to you?
Well, about 4 years ago, end of 2021, beginning of 2022, I was not bored. I just didn't want to talk about pro wrestling only. Like I wanted to talk about other things. I have other interests. I wanted to express them. I wanted to make a path in those parts of the industry as well. Like if I'm going to do press stuff for wrestling, then I want to do press stuff for the other things I'm interested in. I want to do press stuff for comics. I want to do press stuff for movies. Why not? It's fun. So that was really it. It was literally based on my own, like I said earlier, based on my own enjoyment. If I don't enjoy this shit, it's going to come across like I don't enjoy it. And that's going to ruin it for everyone. So my idea was just to do the same thing I'm doing with wrestling, but with other subjects. And there was a little pushback in the beginning. People were so angry. Oh my God, this isn't going to work. And I mean, shit, it's been 4 years now. We've got 100,000 more followers than we did when I made that announcement. So I think it worked. As far as the website, the fact of the matter is you are not taken seriously as an outlet if you are just a social media outlet. it's partly because of resentment from traditional media, but also maybe you should be putting in that extra effort. Just having a social media where you can express whatever you want isn't enough to consider yourself part of the business. And so we had to make a website. And with a website, I found very quickly that I could not do that on my own. I can't do what Dirt Sheet Radio needs to support a website and a social media alone. So I reached out. I actually reached out to one person at first. He reached out to me. My good friend now and now editor, Jameis. He reached out to me and he's like, "Hey, I can help." And at first I was like, I don't know how to support this. But I got my opportunity WrestleMania weekend to do press for the Slamfest event. And I was juggling that with the WrestleMania weekend stuff that happened everywhere else. So I'm like, after this weekend, I've got to figure out how to put a team together because this is impossible. And if we're going to keep growing, I need hands. I need extra help. So I did. I remembered that he reached out, and so I reached back out to him, and I was like, "Hey, brother, I know we're not a big company yet, but we could get there with your help." And he's been freaking godsend. And so with his help, I was able to push forward with a full-on website expansion. So I mean, it takes having the right people with you too. It's certainly not all me. As much as I would love to sit here and be like, "Yeah, Dirt Sheet Radio, baby, it's all me." No, for a while it was. But I was dying, bro. I was like, I need to sleep someday. But now it's so much better now with help, with a team. It's important. It's important to have the right people around you.
What has been your favorite thing to cover with this expansion?
I think my favorite thing to cover is always going to be pro wrestling. I just love I love wrestling, man. It's so weird. The stories that come out of it are so weird sometimes. It's like the weirdest thing to talk about with your friends. Like, did you see this freaking headline? I can't believe it. Of course, but with the Comic Book Click partnership that we have, I love what they're doing over there. I love to see the expansion of comic book coverage. Like that was a big thing I wanted to do with Dirt Sheet Radio, and I was so happy to partner with my friend George, and so that we can really focus on covering comic books, but not just like DC and Marvel. We're talking like the medium of comics. We're reviewing, we're talking to creators, we're headed out to conventions, and we're doing press at conventions. I love that stuff. So I love comic books, man.
So I'm going to put you on solo screen. We're going to go do our rapid fire and our closing question. I do want to thank you for being so patient and everyone that's tuning in with the technical difficulties we had in the beginning.
Of course.
Let me just put you... Come on. I'm trying to do this from an iPad as a new feat right now. So let's see. No, definitely don't want me. How do you put this? All right, this is not working. I hate doing this from the iPad. This was not the best idea ever, but let's see.
Hey, it worked.
Yeah, it worked, but it's showing me how do I move myself from here? That's the question. I don't want to be I want to put you in the hot seat. Oh, there you go. See,
hell yeah.
All right, so this is our rapid fire section, and this came from the panel at the Gorilla Talk. But the people want to know, what's your favorite WrestleMania?
Ooh, my favorite WrestleMania might have to be 20.
Why?
It was, as a kid, I had got into wrestling in 98. I left in 2001. I came back in 2003. WrestleMania 20 was the first WrestleMania I watched as a teenager that I really understood. Like, oh, wow. Like, I think, obviously, the ending is gone now. It's erased from history, and rightfully so. But at the time, that Eddie Guerrero, Chris Benoit under the confetti with both titles, guys who weren't supposed to be there but are. That story just pulled me all the way in. I was like, this is for me.
I'm so happy you were able to say Benoit's name without flinching like some other people do, because I feel like you take away. All right, Chris Benoit is like such a product of CTE, so part of me feels for him when we go into that whole debacle, because it's like, do you take away his achievements? Because wasn't Jimmy Snuka also considered a murderer as well?
It's rough because I grew up. He was my hero for a little bit. And then I found out what he did. And for the rest of my life, I had to deal with the idea that, and it's a good thing, honestly, in the end, that I don't have a connection with celebrities, like a parasocial connection to celebrities. I don't, they're not people, like they exist behind a screen. I'm not surprised by what they do because I don't know them. Like Chris Benoit just completely shattered whatever I thought of, like, supposedly like heroes or people you look up to. Like I just didn't have that after that because finding out what he did. But he was my hero for a long time until that happened. But after that happened, the thing that I just always tell myself is, I have kids, dude, I have a wife. At the end of the day, their lives are real and more important than anything on that screen. And so the lives that unfortunately were taken that day are more real than anything that he ever did. So that's what I remind myself, because I do in the bottom, like subconsciously, I still have a connection. Like I still feel like when I see him, when I hear that music, there is still I guess a subconscious thought, like, good thing. But I have to remind myself. I just always have to remind myself, like, that's a bad thing. I'm not, that feeling doesn't exist anymore. So it's a thing I have to tell myself on purpose. So I understand why some other people just are like, I don't want to deal with that negative feeling. I'd rather think about the good feelings that he gave me with the work that he did. And I don't want that to be taken away. I don't want that to disappear. And I get that too.
It's just hard being a wrestling fan, and like it's always that there. Like there's people like in other podcasts I do, they call him Agent X or something, and I'm like, cool. But at the end of the day, if we really like, I remember watching the Vice stuff where they will talk about like the brain scan, and it's just like, but if they got him the help, a lot of things is also different within the last 30 years, that could be brought into this conversation. But I'm not, like I said, I'm not also sitting here defending him because it is egregious and reprehensible.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also more sides to the story at the same time. But favorite SummerSlam?
Ooh, SummerSlam. That's a good question, because I have certain favorite SummerSlam matches, but like my favorite SummerSlam as a whole, that's a little hard. I want to say 2003, just because I used to like borrow it from the like I used to literally borrow the videotape from the library to watch Lesnar versus Angle at the Elimination Chamber. Those are two defaults. I'll say SummerSlam 2003.
What is the best Royal Rumble thus far?
This is crazy because we were just talking about Chris Benoit. I think that the 2004 Royal Rumble was my favorite for a long time because I used to call it the work rate Rumble. There were no surprises. There weren't anything. It wasn't anything big. It was just like a good wrestling match. And I'm big for the good wrestling match. That's why I came. That's why I enjoy AEW so much. The storylines are all fine or whatever. That's cool. That's what drew me in. But the violent dance is why I'm here. That being said, 2004 and then 2020, all the way up in 2020, there was that Royal Rumble where Brock Lesnar dominated half of it until Ricochet and Drew McIntyre kind of jumped him and got him out of there. I loved the way WWE booked that Royal Rumble. 2020 is like a top tier Rumble, a modern Rumble.
The best heel
today or in history?
I'll let you have today because I would be an asshole and say in history.
I think the best heel today. I just got to roll through my Rolodex. My instinct was to just say MJF, but I feel like it's a little more nuanced than that. I feel like MJF is so good sometimes that I root for him rather than hate him, which goes against the whole thing. Gosh, this is a hard one. I'm trying to keep it rapid fire. I guess I'll just go MJF because he's the first one that came in my head, and anyone else I have to deeply think about.
The best babyface.
Best babyface is easily Will Ospreay right now. The guy just has to go out there, wrestle, and put his hand up. Everyone's in love.
Best wrestling commentator.
Ooh, best wrestling commentator right now, Walker Stewart from New Japan and Stardom. It's a wealth of information, this guy, and it doesn't get in the way of commentating the wrestling. Like, he's not telling stories on top of things that are going on in the ring. That's important to me.
Best commentator, best wrestling theme to date.
Ooh, wrestling theme to date. I'm a big wrestling theme guy. I like a dude that owned the WWF anthology or WWE anthology discs. My favorite wrestling themes are not even theme songs. They were old WWE production themes that they used to use. There is a song they used for SummerSlam 2002 called Fight. It was a song that they used for Triple H and Shawn Michaels recap video, and it was kind of the song for the whole show. And it is like one of the best wrestling songs to exist.
Who is your dream wrestling interview?
Bryan Danielson right now. He is yeah, that's like, I've got to get that, like before this all ends, whenever this all ends, I've got to speak to Bryan Danielson just once, please.
I need the Dragon to sign my book. I read his whole memoir. I need him to write another one and talk about life in AEW.
Yes. Yeah, I actually I read that book as well. I also listened to it because he reads it to you, which is like, okay, this is awesome.
Really now?
Yes, he does.
Who had the best promo ever?
That's a hard one. That's a big. That's big. You know what? The best promo I've ever heard is this is actually easier than I thought. Have you seen the Beyond the Mat documentary? There is a moment in that documentary where Paul Heyman is backstage before ECW's first pay-per-view, and he is giving this speech that made me want to run through a wall. And this was watched like 20 years later. Like, I want to put my life on the line for ECW's Barely Legal. Yes. But yeah, that promo Paul Heyman gave in that locker room and Beyond the Mat that day of ECW Barely Legal is probably the best promo in wrestling history.
What is one wrestling myth you want to debunk in 2026?
The ugly redneck fan myth. Like, this is not the year 1999 anymore. It's not all flannels and mullets in the crowd. Wrestling fans are diverse.
Now, my closing question for you. If someone listens to Dirt Sheet Radio for the first time after watching this interview, which you guys better, if not, you're dumb. What do you hope they take away, not only about your show and the radio show, but the role responsible wrestling journalism plays in keeping fans informed while preserving passion that makes professional wrestling unique?
I think the biggest thing I want them to know is that we're still fans. We're not like, we report information because we think it's fun to talk about things, and it's that simple. I want to talk about this wrestling stuff with you. It's just that simple. If you listen to this, if you listen to Dirt Sheet Radio after this, I would feel most successful if you just walk away thinking, man, those guys really love pro wrestling. If that's what you took from Dirt Sheet Radio, then my day is made.
I love this. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
No, listen, man. I like I said, I was very tenacious in trying to make this happen because I was reading and I'd be watching Dirt Sheet Radio. You know, I would see it online. Shout out, by the way, to you for also becoming part of the True Heels family. I saw it. I peeped it. My journalism was kicking in, so I was reading whatever I could. But as someone that's also just grew up in journalism, it means a lot to be able to sit down with you and to talk about, especially now where dirt sheets are being looked at before you could even watch the programming. Like, it's so accessible. I'll probably catch something on my phone from Bleacher Report, for an example. So before you go and enjoy your 4th of July weekend, are you watching X-Men 97 like the rest of the world today?
Yeah, actually, as soon as I'm done here, I'm going to watch the first 3 episodes. I tried to do it last night, but I was too tired. I'm getting ready now.
See, I literally had it on pause because what I decided to do, because every time I said I was going to watch it with my friends would talk more and I wouldn't be able to focus. Since 10 o'clock, no, since like 12 o'clock, I've been watching the episodes so I can then watch the 3. So I'm watching 12 episodes of X-Men 97 back to back.
Nice. Not bad. Right before X-Men 97 came out, I had to do a rewatch of the whole original series. So I sat down with my son and we stuffed it all into like a month. It was wild, but we got it done.
I'm definitely doing that too in the process, but I had to stop my X-Men binge so I could watch X-Men 97 because I knew I wanted to watch those first 3 episodes. So it's been a back and forth.
Well, speaking of X-Men, be sure to catch me on True Hill Heat this weekend, where I will be talking about the X-Men 97 with our good old host Sid. So I'll be on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel talking X-Men 97.
Definitely send that to me. I will definitely be tapped in because the way it's looking, if it rains in New York, my ass is staying home. My barbecue will be on a George Foreman grill.
Understandable.
And I will just be in watching TV, which will piss off a lot of people. But for now, where can they find you and where can they find Dirt Sheet Radio?
Dirt Sheet Radio is available on all audio platforms. So any place you listen to a podcast, just search in Dirt Sheet Radio and you'll find almost 300 episodes of our podcast. We've also got Geek Sheet Radio, which is about bi-weekly now. So you can definitely listen to those there, but also follow Dirt Sheet Radio on all social media platforms. Subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. I said that already. TikTok. Just Google Dirt Sheet Radio and follow us anywhere you can because we can use the support. We appreciate it.
So, guys, this has been a Gorilla Bites segment here on the Gorilla Talk podcast. Please catch us back next week, where I hope Danhausen has not cursed my laptop yet again, and I can have a normal podcast with no issues. But this weekend, guys, stay safe. If you're in the New York area, stay cool. It's supposed to get to be 100 degrees tomorrow, which is crazy. Follow us everywhere on the Raw Zone Media website, www.rawzonenyc.com, Instagram at Gorilla Talk Podcast. Follow us via the Raw Zone NYC Instagram as well. As for myself, you can follow me at iamivy.xo_. I hope everyone has an enjoyable 4-day weekend. Stay safe. Watch all of X-Men 97. From myself and Jon Escudero of Dirt Sheet Radio, I bid y'all a 2 sweet and a good fight and a good night. Good night, guys. Well, good day, guys.